The No Fate channel, checking in. On this episode of Dad's Home Gym, we got a bit of a change up for you because I'm not going to be reviewing a piece of home gym equipment. I'm actually going to be reviewing this muscle rack to help you decide if it's something that's going to benefit your home gym with respect to organization, with respect to layout, with respect to holding your heaviest of weight. And hey, if you're not into home gyms and you just want to know if this muscle rack is going to be tough enough for your stuff that you need to store, stay tuned because we're going to do all of it. We're going to talk about assembly, costs, the pros, the cons, the colors, and the cost. If this is your first time to the channel, hit the subscribe button. Typically, I review home gym equipment, but almost as importantly, every once in a while, I review ways to better organize and lay out your home gym because it is not always about having the best equipment. It's about making sure that you want to come down, in my case, to the basement and work out in your home gym. So one of the issues with many home gyms, and hey, most people's homes in general, is space. You're not getting any more of it. Oftentimes we find that you get a whole bunch of stuff in one space like a home gym. It becomes cluttered, it becomes annoying, and it becomes downright difficult to get a fun workout in. And that is why we're talking about shelving. One of the problems though with regards to storing your home gym equipment is your home gym equipment is heavy. These kettlebells alone are like a cannonball with handles. Before we get started, I want to know from you what you're using to organize, store your home gym equipment, or is it just littered all over the floor? Please comment below. There are three main issues when it comes to your home shelving and why they're not necessarily good for heavy weight or your gym equipment, which are actually the same exact thing. Number one is that most of the generic shelving is cheap and not really coated to withstand dumbbells, kettlebells, plates. And if you do try to put on too much weight onto these cheapo shelves, there's going to be bowing in the middle and they're eventually going to slip off the sides, and that is a recipe for disaster. The other issue is the depth. Oftentimes, if you've got garage shelving or basement shelving, you tend to get like a 2-foot standard depth, which is fine if you've got like a plastic tub to slide on or you've got boxes of stuff. But when you're dealing with kettlebells, when you're dealing with weights, that depth can actually be an issue because you don't want to have to reach all the way in to kind of yank out that weight. It is going to be difficult on your back. It's not going to be just functional over the long run, and it's something that is going to be a problem. And then number three is that when you do find the heavy duty racks that you're looking for, they tend to be expensive. A lot of the ones that I was looking at, that your Lowe's and Home Depot, were coming in at the $150 mark for roughly the same size as this muscle rack. This muscle rack costs $68 plus tax delivered to my home. Of course, Amazon free shipping. I'll put a link to it in the description below. Keep in mind, I happened to find out after the fact that apparently it comes in red, and no one likes red because red's $10 cheaper at only $58. But when I compare this to almost the same exact thing dimension-wise with regards to like Husky version out of Lowe's and Home Depot, I was going to have to pay double to get the same exact thing, or at least at face value. As far as dimensions, as I mentioned, it's only a foot deep, making it ideal to kind of put weight on, take weight off. Also, it is 30 inches long and 60 inches high. Because I plan to sneak this in and tuck it underneath some ductwork, this 60 inches height is ideal for me. When it comes to any type of shelving, my recommendation for myself and for you is to get as tall as possible because you really want to maximize that vertical space if you have it. But from time to time, especially in very niche situations like I'm dealing with and you might deal with, this 30 inches wide, 60 inches high, and only a foot depth is ideal for me. As far as assembly, quick assembly takes about 15 minutes. The only tool you really need is a mallet, a rubber hammer, whatever you want to call it, and you just simply bang them in. This muscle rack shelving unit comes with 5 shelves, which is good for 2 reasons. Number one, you can actually adjust those shelves wherever you want. And number 2, you don't have to use all 5. If you want to make yourself a nice wide opening like I have here, you can use 4 or only 3. It's up to you. Weighing in at 30 pounds, this muscle rack can hold up to 2,500 pounds, 500 pounds per shelf. As you can see here with these kettlebells, I have over 200 pounds and there's no bowing whatsoever. But with everything, there's always pros and cons, and I like to do an honest review. The shelving, which is part of the reason that they can actually hold so much weight, is it's this metal grating type of shelf. I didn't use all the shelves, so I took the extra ones and actually put them in the back so I don't have to store them. But because of this metal grating shelf, it is super strong. However, if you have small stuff that you're looking to support on your shelf, it will fall through these wide openings, and might not necessarily sit as flat as you would like it. So you might have to put a covering like I did. You can see I used horse stall mats to kind of cover the metal grating so it won't come through. You could easily use wood or something to that effect. But again, if you're storing ammo boxes, if you're going to be storing just boxes of food, stuff like that, this metal grating is not going to be an issue. The other issue with respect to this metal grating is the noise it makes. Because it's metal grating, it is going to make a little bit of clanging and banging if you are constantly taking stuff off and putting stuff on. If this is a garage scenario, not that big of a deal because, hey, you're not going to use it that often, and who cares if you make a little bit of noise in your garage. But for my home gym, where I'm constantly taking kettlebells on and off, that is going to be a problem because the little ones are upstairs sleeping when I'm working out. So I use these horse stall mats to deaden the sound. Also, in order to keep the grates from shifting around inside the sleeves that are holding them in place, I actually used really small zip ties that you can barely see and just zip tied them in so that there's just basically no shimmy when you take stuff off or put stuff on. The only thing left to do is to shimmy this thing into its final resting spot, load it up with as much weight as I can possibly squeeze on here, and call it a day. I will say from my experience assembling it, putting it together and doing some practice runs with some heavy weight on here, very, very sturdy, no bowing, everything I wanted at that very respectable $70 price tag. Again, when I looked at Lowe's, I looked at Home Depot for stuff that was specifically made for heavy type of things like kettlebells, the price tag was much higher. So I'm actually happy with this purchase. My only problem is I kind of wish I went with red, not because I think red is better than blue, but I would have liked to save that $10 extra. If you came this far in the video, please give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. Also, do me a massive favor and use my Amazon affiliate link. How does it work? You click on the link in the description. You buy whatever you were gonna buy at Amazon.com. That's a website you might have already heard of. What they do is they take a little bit of money out of Jeff Bezos's pocket and they put it into mine to help keep the lights on. As usual, thank you for watching and don't save anything for the trip back. This channel is dedicated to my life as a father of 2 wonderful children, and it centers around health, fitness, and all of the tricks and tribulations that I go through to try to be a great parent to my children and still accomplish my own personal goals.